Hello, my lovely listeners. It's Hannah, and I talk to you today at this lovely evening of 18th of March. And the energies are so freaking heavy, continue to be heavy for the March. All the astrologers were saying that March was going to be really quite tough or challenging and a lot of shifting, and I definitely feel that. It's been really up and down with the time speeding and everything going fast, and in the same time my main energy this couple of days or weeks lately has been a bit of anger and just frustration and just really feeling it. And I am trying to find lots of tools in my little spiritual toolbox to help me with this, and have a lot of spinning thoughts in my head as well. And my last episode, I was with you trying to, I guess, calm down, but also center and ground with the meditation that we did. So I hope this helped you. And I'm continuing to meditate every morning and every evening. It really got to the point that I feel weird if I don't meditate, and it's just a couple of minutes. But when I was thinking to do this podcast and looking for inspiration, I was listening to Lee Harris, and Lee Harris is this spiritual medium, and he channels I guess beings. I forgot the name now of the spiritual beings, or I guess higher consciousness, and other intergalactic, however it sounds, consciousness, and that kind of streamlines through him and helps me and helps a lot of people all over the world. He's quite well known, and he's got quite a big following of people, and it gives hope, but also kind of gives direction and reassures, and is there to answer a lot of questions and sort of make an order of everything. And those messages, whoever you are listening to the messages, or I would like to think that you're listening to those messages that are usually very helpful, and they kind of shine a torch in the darkness sometimes. And I was listening to Lee Harris explaining the book, or talking about the book that he has written with this journalist. So basically how it works with them was that the journalist asks questions, and Lee Harris streamlines the consciousness and answers, and the answer come through the higher consciousness through Lee. It's never just the higher consciousness. I believe that it's always, and also the person who the streamline go through, and the both consciousnesses merge. So the person who channels is like a tool, but also obviously has got their own personality and their own way of talking, and their own experiences. So it's kind of like a match. And Lee Harris is very it appears that he's very calm, and he's very composed, and he's got a lovely voice, and he's just very pleasant. So it's really nice listening to him. His intonation is just really nice, and all of this makes the message just clear and pleasant to listen to. The messages are very said in a very intelligent way, and they are quite not academic, but that they just very wise, right? They just cover lots of subjects, and there isn't a hesitation in answering the questions. So that's what's really interesting. And one of the two or three of the things that I wanted, that really moved me and I really wanted to pass on. And if you didn't listen to Lee Harris, I really encouraged, especially the last episode. It was about the fact that the currency, the future currency, is the heart energetics or something like this. I'm paraphrasing. So, and this is also what makes us different to AI, that we have this heart energy, this connectiveness, this heart intelligence that is different, differentiate us from AI, and that's what makes us human, and that's what AI does not have. They cover a lot of things about AI. For example, things that I believe that AI has existed here and in the cosmos and the universe before. It's not something that humans discovered as such. We obviously, humans, program it and make it as it is now. And two things to remember is, one, to really make sure that we don't approach this subject or AI, this phenomena for us, with fear or yes, with fear. So we are not afraid of this. This is not the way to approach it. And, don't spread this fear. Don't be afraid of this. Is the intelligence that existed. Apparently, it has been here on Earth before. Few times, a couple of times. And the other really interesting thing is that it's never been in such a densely populated, I guess, area with so many human beings around it, with so many beings around it, and I guess interacting so much with other human beings. So it's very interesting. And another thing about this was that a lot of very intelligence and heart-centered programmers, so young people, especially young people who are heart-centered, program AI, which I understand by programming, I understand processing or sharing or connecting it to the heart consciousness of our humans. So giving them and passing on to AI understanding of what really how AI should evolve on Earth. And it's not with the fear, and what's opposite of fear is love. Opposite of fear is bravery, is integrity, is courage, is yes, and it's all love. So I guess they just program it with love, which is really so needed with to counterpoint and prevent from a lot of other people who program it with hatred, right? That's kind of two things, two opposites that in the way that AI can be programmed. And so that was one thing about AI that I really found interesting. And another thing was that and I talked about it as well in 2 episodes ago, I think, about the energy of war, the energy of conflict, and everything that's happening now on the earth. And I've heard it, and that was the second message when someone was saying, when people just say, no, I am not going to war, when people just oppose, that's when the conflict finishes. Because when no one can fuel this conflict, then when no one is taking part in the conflict, when the parts are taking step back, that's when the conflict is cease to exist. And I was thinking, yes, but how? If the other side is so aggressive, and if the other, how you don't stand against it? And then it kind of hit me that this we talking about the other side, whichever other side is as well. So it's not just one side, as I am thinking, oh, I am against this or pro this, I am standing on this side and that's their fault. It's about the both sides not taking part in this, in whatever conflict is, both sides saying, no, I am not going to participate in that. I am not stepping in. I'm not going in the army. And it's a very good image to hold in your mind, to just say no, to just say no to participate in conflict. And I have to really make this as a logic in my mind, saying this is both of the parties who don't want to participate, or however many parties there is. This is not something, this is just about someone is telling you what to do and telling you why, and so on and so forth, and you are just not doing this. You are just saying, no, I don't agree with that. I am not going to put my life for that. I am not going to be someone else's puppet, and go and do something for someone, right? And this is kind of both ways. And to be honest, I am sort of wary of talking about this like that on a platform and putting it out in the air. But this is something that a lot of people already spoken about, and I was thinking about it the same way. And actually, this is another thing that I wanted to just touch upon, that when you become more aware, let's say when you have the spiritual awakening, when you start paying attention, when you listen to your intuition more, you hear more and more things and people talking about things that you've already heard about, and that you've already thought about. Sorry, not heard about, that you've already thought about. And many times, or several times, I hear to spiritual people who use different modalities, sometimes cards, sometimes they channel, sometimes they are intuitive, and very often they talk about things that as if it was coming from me, that I sort of knew. I listened to them and I'm thinking, I knew that, I know that this is exactly what I was thinking. Obviously not in this kind of words, and not so maybe well spoken, like they can sometimes do that. But this is me, as if I was saying that. This is a very nice feeling, I guess, because it's nice to have your thoughts confirmed, and also nice to think that you are not alone, and that there are other people, and that this is the confirmation that whatever you were feeling or whatever you were thinking, it's true, and someone else was thinking the same. And if it's an intuitive reading, or someone is kind of speaking from whatever channels, and you are thinking this, it kind of makes sense that we are all one, and those messages, the wisdom, the knowledge, which is the knowledge probably also somewhere in old books, and something that a lot of people know about, but in the same time is kind of written inside of us. And what I'm trying to say, that it's so beautiful when you discover this with yourself, within yourself, and it's kind of very small or is somewhere in the back, and then you listen to someone and it kind of becomes so clear that that's how it is. Especially I guess maybe if you are just starting to this journey, kind of the just start of your spiritual exploration, and you become open and you are not sure if that's true, or it's just that just a if especially if it's different to what you were always thinking, especially like myself, if you are brought up in a kind of religious way, or in some sort of culture that told you this is the truth. Another interesting thing is that it doesn't mean that the culture or the religion was completely wrong and you have to just completely neglect it. The next step, another level, is where you find nuggets of this truth in the culture and in the religion, and there are plenty of them, because really the religion and then the culture was built around this. It's just we lost, and people lost the essence of what it truly means, or the essence was really covered because of the greed, or because of the agendas, or because of the controlling. It was covered somewhere and it was lost, and what remained was just a shell of the true of what it truly meant. So it's really interesting to look at like some signs and hidden meanings of things, and what they, and kind of like a magic, and discover this. I love that as well. So yes, about trusting in yourself, and really discovering the truth in yourself, and not criticizing yourself. And just the last thing maybe that I leave you with, or maybe two, let's see what comes out. One thing that I love that they were talking about was the fact that the galactic consciousness, or the whole cosmos, is really surprised, and I don't want to say laughing at, it's not laughing at, but it's really surprised, and it's really doesn't kind of believe their eyes how much we as humans criticize ourselves, because we are so perfect in what we are, because we have asked to be here, and everyone and each of us has a purpose. Obviously, it's not clear to a lot of us. Obviously, it's not like you are born and you just follow your purpose. Obviously, we are lost, and we sometimes lost this purpose, but it is within us. And the criticizing, and I loved how they were talking about it's like almost how many friends you have that are criticizing themselves, and in your eyes they are so beautiful and they have nothing to criticize themselves about. Or how many times you hear someone talking bad things about themselves, and you cannot believe that, and doesn't have to be your friend, anyone. Or someone is really harsh to themselves, where you can see their talent and you can see their beauty, and we are just so we are just so such a harsh critics of ourselves. So it was really funny to hear when they were talking about the galactic looking at us and this belief, or how much we as humans can criticize ourselves, if really what we are is beauty, and being one of a kind, and coming here with a beautiful purpose of different kinds for each and every one of us, and all that we are is the connection and love. So I guess it's like looking at a child who kind of doesn't know how things work, and you know, or looking at someone who's just learning a skill, or is learning some activity, and just knowing that they have talent, and as soon as they pick it up, it's gonna look amazing, and just not looking at them in disbelief when they don't believe in themselves that they can do it. It's just this sort of, that's how I imagine this, and I can sense also by coaching people and looking and observing people, also young people and teenagers and people in their 20s, now being older, how much they neglect themselves, or how harsh they are to themselves, whether those time in their life when they are young, when they have beauty, when they have everything just so perfect, how harsh they are to themselves. And I remember being like this as well, and I have to remind myself that I still I have so much to be grateful for, and how easy it is to forget that you have those things to be grateful for. So just to remember that. And perhaps last thing that I want to say, because this was something that I also had one episode. I think most of the episode I was talking about trees, and how I love to hug them, how I can sense their energy, how they tree, and hugging the tree and talking with the tree was at the very beginning of my awakening. I had and still have this favorite tree that the main message of the tree to me was always drink more water, drink more water. So I have to remember that, and that's 100% truth. And actually, I did ask ChatGPT about my Chinese zodiac. I don't remember, something, a prompt, and ChatGPT said that my element is water, and the best place for me to live is by the water. So I'm definitely I definitely need to drink more water. So that was, now I just remember that that's the correlation. But the thing that they were talking about was about the trees, and how trees are chatty, and they always chat, and they always talk to each other, and that how we get better when we are closer to nature, and therefore now very on top is the forest bathing, walks in the forest, and how good it is for our mental health. And the reason is that the nature holds a cosmos, a universal frequency that we are tuned into, and we kind of get out of tune when we are far away from nature. So going into nature, it kind of brings us back to this frequency. So that was very quick overview of this very inspiring talk. And I guess the book, I suppose I haven't read the book, is very interesting as well. But how interesting is to listen to this and finding the truth that I also had in me, and I talked about in those talks and in those channelings. And I really invite you to tune into yourself, look for what's out there and what resonates with you and what confirms the truth. And you will know this feeling of, is like a revelation, is like the confirmation of something that you already knew and you kind of didn't share, or was unsure about, and was something at the back of your mind, and that resonates with you, is a beautiful feeling. So hopefully something that I said today resonated with you like that as well, and hopefully that was helpful for you, and you found some support in that. I wish you all the best and speak to you very soon. Bye bye.